What if I told you that a single invasion marked a significant turning point in the annals of history, igniting the flames of the deadliest conflict mankind has ever seen? World War II. Picture this. It's the first day of September 1939. The world is on the brink, teetering on the precipice of a war that would engulf nations, claim millions of lives, and reshape our understanding of humanity. At the helm of this impending storm is Nazi Germany, under the command of General Walther von Brauchitsch, with Army Group North led by General Fedor von Bock. Their target, Poland. Their weapon of choice, a revolutionary military tactic known as the Blitzkrieg, or lightning war. This was not a war of attrition, but one of rapid, relentless assault. It was a strategy designed to strike hard, strike fast, and overwhelm the enemy before they even had a chance to mount a significant defense. The Blitzkrieg strategy was a lethal cocktail of speed and firepower, combining the relentless advance of infantry, the crushing power of armor, and the terror of air power. It was a strategy that would redefine warfare, setting the stage for the brutal global conflict that was to come. But who were the men behind this strategy? Who were the architects of this lightning war? Brauchitsch, a career military officer, was the overall commander of the German forces. Bock, on the other hand, was a decorated veteran of World War I and was known for his aggressive tactics and strategic acumen. Together they masterminded the invasion that would spark World War II. And so it began. As dawn broke on that fateful September morning, the German forces surged across the Polish border. The world watched in trepidation as the first shots of what would become the deadliest conflict in human history were fired. And so began an intense month-long campaign that would forever change the world. While Poland grappled with the German onslaught from the west, a new threat emerged from the east. Just over a fortnight after the German invasion, on September 17, 1939, the Soviet Union launched its own assault on Poland. This was not a random act of aggression, but a coordinated move orchestrated under the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. This secret agreement between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union had carved up Eastern Europe into spheres of influence before the war even began. At the helm of the Soviet forces was General Semyon Timoshenko, a seasoned military leader with a reputation for his strategic acumen. Under his command, the Red Army moved swiftly, invading Poland from the east. With the Polish forces already stretched thin fighting the Germans, they could offer little resistance against this new adversary. It was a classic pincer movement, with Poland trapped helplessly in the middle. The Soviet invasion was as swift as it was brutal. Towns and cities fell to the Red Army, their defences overwhelmed by the sheer might of the Soviet forces. The Polish army, brave though they were, could not hold back the tide. The Soviets pushed westward, meeting the German forces in the middle of the country, and so Poland was cruelly dissected, divided between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact had effectively signed Poland's death warrant. It was a betrayal of a nation, a secret deal made in the shadows that had devastating consequences. The division of Poland was not just a geographical split. It marked the beginning of a brutal occupation as these two ruthless powers imposed their rule on the Polish people. The Polish state ceased to exist, its lands occupied, its people subjugated. Poland found itself trapped between two ruthless powers, its fate sealed. The invasion of Poland was not just a military campaign, it was a stark demonstration of the ruthlessness of totalitarian regimes, a chilling prelude to the horrors that were to unfold during World War II. This marked the beginning of a dark chapter in human history, a time of unprecedented conflict and human suffering. Warsaw, the heart of Poland, beat defiantly against the German and Soviet forces, but even the bravest heart can be broken. September 27th, 1939 marked the beginning of a dark chapter for the city of Warsaw. Despite the courage and determination of its defenders, the city found itself in the crosshairs of a relentless enemy. The siege of Warsaw was a brutal affair. German forces, equipped with a deadly arsenal of tanks, artillery and aircraft, subjected the city to a relentless barrage. The Luftwaffe, under the command of Hermann Göring, conducted devastating bombing raids, with the terrifying sound of the Ju-87 Stuka dive bombers echoing through the city's streets. On the ground, the Polish forces fought valiantly. Led by Marshal Rydz-Śmigły and General Tadeusz Kutrzeba, They faced the overwhelming firepower of the German army with courage and resolve. They fought for every street, every building, refusing to surrender their city without a fight. Yet the odds were stacked against them. The German Blitzkrieg tactics, combining the rapid movement of infantry armour and air power, proved too much for the city's defences. The German tanks, including the formidable Panzer IVs, powered through the city, while the artillery softened up any pockets of resistance. As the days turned into weeks, the situation in Warsaw grew increasingly dire. Supplies dwindled, and the constant bombardment took its toll on both the city and its defenders. Despite their heroic efforts, the Polish forces could not hold out indefinitely against the relentless German assault. Finally, on October 6, 1939, Warsaw fell. The once vibrant city lay in ruins, its streets silent, its buildings reduced to rubble. The Polish defenders, exhausted and outnumbered, were forced to surrender. The heart of Poland had been broken. The fall of Warsaw marked a sad and significant moment in the history of World War II. It signalled the end of the Polish resistance and the beginning of a brutal occupation. The spirit of the city, however, remained unbroken. Even in the face of unimaginable adversity, the people of Warsaw remained defiant, their spirit a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. With the fall of Warsaw, the resistance crumbled, marking the end of the invasion. War is a grim symphony of destruction, orchestrated with a variety of deadly instruments. In the theatre of battle, the Nazis wielded an array of formidable tools that would leave a lasting mark on the world. Let's start with the tanks. The German army brought to bear the Panzer Is II, the III and I Voi, a fleet of armoured beasts that played a pivotal role in the success of the Blitzkrieg tactics. These mechanical monsters, each more formidable than the last, offered the dual advantages of mobility and firepower, allowing the Nazis to strike hard and fast, overwhelming the Polish defences. But the tanks weren't alone on the battlefield. Supporting them were the artillery units, a combination of field guns and howitzers that softened up enemy defences and facilitated the advance of infantry and armour. The thunderous roar of these weapons echoed across the Polish landscape, laying waste to everything in their path. Above the ground, the skies were dominated by the Luftwaffe, under the command of Hermann Göring. The German Air Force conducted devastating bombing raids on Polish cities and military targets. Central to these aerial assaults were the Ju-87 Stuka dive bombers. Known for their terrifying sirens, these aircraft struck fear into the hearts of Polish troops and civilians alike. Then, of course, there were the foot soldiers, the backbone of the German forces. Armed with a range of weapons including rifles, machine guns and grenades, the infantry advanced in sync with the tanks and artillery. The standard issue rifle was the Karabiner 98K, a reliable and deadly tool in the hands of a trained soldier. For heavier firepower, the MG-34 and MG-42 machine guns were the weapons of choice. Each of these tools, from the hulking tanks to the humble infantry rifles, played a key role in the Nazi war machine. They were the instruments of a grim symphony, each contributing its own deadly note to the cacophony of destruction. Armed with these weapons of war, the Nazis overwhelmed the Polish defences. Every war carries a heavy price, paid in blood and tears. The invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union was no different. The toll of human life was devastatingly high, scarring the nations involved. On the German side, the casualties numbered around 16,000, including those killed, wounded or missing in action. A significant loss, yes, but one dwarfed by the scale of the Polish tragedy. The Polish forces bore a much heavier burden, with estimates of their casualties ranging from 66,000 to a staggering 200,000. These numbers represent only the military personnel and do not account for the countless civilians who lost their lives in bombings and military operations. The human cost of this short but brutal campaign was immense, and the psychological scars would linger for generations. The cost of the invasion was staggering, with Poland bearing the brunt of the losses. As the dust settled on the ravaged landscape of Poland, the world found itself on the brink of a global catastrophe. The invasion of Poland had triggered the declaration of war by Britain and France against Germany, leading to the outbreak of World War II. This conflict, spanning 6 long years, would consume the globe, bringing unprecedented devastation and loss. Poland, once a vibrant and independent nation, was now divided under the brutal occupation of Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. The Polish people, their cities reduced to rubble, bore the harsh brunt of this occupation. Their resilience and spirit, however, remained unbroken. In the end, the invasion of Poland was more than just the beginning of World War II. It stands as a dark testament to the destructive power of ambition and ideology, a chilling reminder of how easily peace can shatter, and a call to remember, so we might never repeat such a tragedy.